So here we are again, back on the budget PC. This time I'm going to go up to high on all my settings here. It may tell me to reboot. We'll see what happens. But I want to see the hit the graphics takes, because right now we saw in the last video, we saw mid 50s and 60s. So yes, I do indeed have to restart. So we're going to come out, we're going to come back in. So here we are. And we'll see how this goes. Now again, while we're waiting for this to launch, there we go. This is the budget build, so it's a Ryzen 5 with the 5600G built-in graphics. It's an RX 6600 graphics card, 32 gigabytes of memory, 1 terabyte solid state hard drive, monitor. The whole thing, quote unquote, soup to nuts, was $810, including flight controls. So not a super high-end machine, but I was getting mid 50s in my frames per second. Obviously those numbers up there are garbage right now because we're not really in the game. But let's try it with high, and we'll do the same type of flight we just did, minus the really poor landing. So it should be booting any second now. Yep, now these guys are connected, which tells me FSU IPC is up. Boop, here we go. Now, before we do this, let's back out. Let's make sure that our settings took. So we'll go to options, general options. It looks like everything took to high. It did. We'll go back to our home here. We'll come back here. And again, we take off from Groton. And we will fly. So it loads pretty quickly for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now I don't anticipate the 50s like I had previously. Right. Now let's get over here a little. And let's release our parking brake. And here we go. Speed is alive. Should be able to rotate. And here we go. We're still seeing at highs, at settings on high, I'm at 43, 44 right now. I gotta say this is performing better than I thought. I did not think the graphics would be this decent off of that card. So far so good. And let's bring our flaps up. Let's fly over some of the same areas. And there I am on the external view. Still got about 45 frames per second. Graphics look pretty darn decent. And again, I think I'm coming up on electric boat here. We're almost at 50 right now. We're at 48.9. So not too shabby. So we're down to 42. So what this kind of makes me curious as to what we're going to hit in a heavily populated, dense area. So let's go back to our main menu. Let's hit yes. Now let's fly through a major city and see what happens. So we're going to go through on the high-end settings, and let's go to Logan just because it just happens to be like the next on my list here. And slowly but surely, here we go.
Boston Tower, Cessna Hotel, India Golf Golf Yankee ready at runway tree left departing straight out.
All right, so we're gonna fly straight over to the city just to see what everything looks like at the higher settings here. Speeds of life. I think I'm getting used to these pedals. And we have rotate. These Thrustmaster pedals definitely feel different than the Logitech pedals I have in the high-end cockpit. So you can already see we're kind of taking a hit. I'm 38 to 36 or so, and I'm not even near the city yet. So something tells me we're gonna see a reduction in frame rate, but Logan looks pretty good. I'm seeing traffic on the highway. I don't know if you can catch that. I'll try to fly over here so maybe you can see that. Getting some good looking traffic on the highway. We'll see if we can find Fenway, because that'll be pretty cool to see on the game. Here we go. Yes, we're seeing Boston. We're seeing a lot of graphics, and we're at 47. Gotta say that's a little shocking. I can see TD Bank North already. It's right here, TD Bank North Garden, home of the Celtics and the Bruins. And we're still at 49. I gotta say, so far, I am pretty shocked by this. I mean, this looks better than I thought it would. I'll definitely say that. And we're coming up on Fenway Park. There's the Citgo sign. There's Fenway. Let's see if we can pull a tight little turnaround. And Fenway looks pretty good. Pretty good. Flying over the monster. And even where we are right now, we're still seeing high 30s, low 40s. I gotta say, I'm impressed. I did not think this card would be able to do this. And it's telling me I'm limited not by the card so much as the main thread, which I'm, again, pretty shocked by. So the next thing I have to do, now that it's doing so well here, is I have to punish the system by putting it on ultra. So we're gonna escape out of here, knowing that flying through a city, we're getting mid 40s, and now it's time to punish the system. So punish it we shall. And I do not expect anything to work really well right here. I really don't. I expect to see this thing really creep along at a ridiculously slow pace once I do this. And apply and save. And you must restart. Okay. So I will stop this, and my next video will be the high end stuff, or ultra end.